Good day and welcome to the program Midday Show, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM. We also do the internet on www.radiodemocracy.sl. My name is Stans, where they bring this edition of the program Midday Show come to you. Like all time inside this program, we get plenty news, information, and entertainment. So do with me for the next 1 hour. Inside the program today, we go talk to the Public Relations Officer, now the Anti-Corruption Commission, winner Alex Ba, we there for talk about the engagement thing with the Anti-Corruption Commission they do now with Brahman chief them na different parts of the country. You can be part of the program by way you send text message at the number 077-981-981 and safe. You can go now a Radio Democracy Facebook page and make your contribution inside the program. The program na Midday Show, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM, where they start to look at issue them inside the program. The ECOWAS resident representative na Salon Ambassador John Azuma don say part of ECOWAS dem Vision 2050 agenda. ECOWAS they make one road where you connect Nigeria to Ivory Coast, Liberia and Salon. Ambassador John Azuma talk this way ECOWAS meet with students and civil society organization them for talk about the ECOWAS Vision 2050 agenda. For more on this, make we join the reporter Theodora Arena.
Inside 2007, the Economic Community of West Africa States, ECOWAS, launched the ECOWAS Vision 2020, and inside 2021, ECOWAS again launched the ECOWAS Vision 2050. The idea behind the vision here, now for CICE, ECOWAS able for transform West Africa from ECOWAS of states to ECOWAS for the people, we mean say citizens them in a member country them for able to travel and live freely from one country to the other. So as ECOWAS continue for implement program them for achieve the ECOWAS Vision 2050 agenda, make they engage students in Afrabe College, civil society organization them, parliamentarian them, journalists and other people for tell them about the agenda. Ambassador John Azuma, now the ECOWAS resident representative in Salon, he talk more about this Vision 2050 agenda.
The ECOWAS vision, it has 5 key pillars. You have peace and security and stability. We have good governance and then a rule of law. We have transformation, innovation and technology. We have economic integration, which was the founding vision of the ECOWAS. And then we have social inclusion. So it is more people-centered than the previous visions of the ECOWAS.
With their intention, the 5 different pillars, them, whose role, the media, parliamentarian them, students them, civil society organization and other people them gets for play for CICE, member country they're able to achieve this agenda. Ambassador John Azuma again.
Civil society, they are close to the people, so they will be able to explain to the people the principles of the Vision 2050. The case of parliamentarians, they are the representatives of the people. So they are expected to play an oversight role and hold the executive, both at the regional level, that is, ECOWAS, and at the national level to account for their actions. In the case of students, students, they say that when you go to school, you are the mouth, the eye, the ear of your family or your parents. So once we talk with students, once we engage students, and then they understand the concepts, they will be able to explain to the society, to their families.
The ECOWAS resident representative in Salon, Ambassador John Azuma Simweso, say as part of ECOWAS plan for improve the travel business among member countries dem, make ECOWAS dey make and improve the road network na crossing points.
We are doing infrastructural development. We are doing roads. There are these corridors that ECOWAS is undertaking. A corridor between Lagos and Abidjan in Cote d'Ivoire. And then there is one that is coming from Abidjan to Liberia and then to Sierra Leone.
Inside them different engagements here, students in our FBC and civil society organization them we been take part been complement ECOWAS for this agenda and hope say the ECOWAS Vision 2050 agenda will help create work, improve the economy and bring peace and member country them. For Radio Democracy, me na Theodora Arena the report.
The program na midday show where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We go welcome with studio guest on Alex Ba, on our public relations officer for the Anti-Corruption Commission in there for talk about some of the engagements them with the Anti-Corruption Commission don't they do with Paramount Chief them na different parts in the country. Good day once more. Welcome to the program midday show.
Yes, very good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so let me start to look at what are the primary mandate of the Anti-Corruption Commission Salon.
Yes, the ACC then be established in the year 2000 after we decade-long civil war. We beget an independent inquiry where be found out say among the many causes that will be lead to the 11-year civil unrest, corruption will be the primary cause. So part of the recommendations at the at the end of the war and after the inquiry day, I before set up an institution of this nature where go be charged with the primary responsibility for take all steps deemed necessary for eradicate the scourge of corruption. So pursuant to the provision inside Section 7, we mandated for, prevent corruption. We mandated for also enforce, because if prevention failed, where we do a lot of public education, media engagement, and like this for let people understand within our corruption, what are the offenses within the Anti-Corruption Act, what are the dangers of corruption, and more or less the benefits of a corrupt-free society, and where all of those engagement and public education and preventive measures then fail, then of course the enforcement they come in. So the enforcement many a times and people then can be keen on, but the most important aspect part of we mandate basically first of all prevent corruption.
Okay, so what's some of the activities then where the Anti-Corruption Commission don't they do for ensure say when I prevent corruption at the country?
Yes, so the activities under prevention we can do, like I talk about public education. We get one of the most potent public education outfits because knowledge na power. They say for before warned is to be forearmed. So that in itself now we major activity. It define we major activity, and if you observe, if you follow, you see this is in a one institution where every day we on the media, whether social media, whether this regular traditional media. So that's not part of we first mandate. But we also through prevention can do what we call systems and processes review. So we can go now different government institutions, ministries, departments, and agencies. Then we look at the existing systems and structures them, and where we observe say there are some system gaps. Then outside corruption, go occur easily with the addressing system gaps, and they will make recommendations with pursuant to provision inside Section 8 of we Act, incumbent on the institution that they are able to absorb and implement then recommendations that they can do. But through prevention, we can also do asset declaration. In fact, this is now presently asset declaration period. So, in fact, standing something we compulsory and all public officers, then we fall within the defined grade. We're not grade 7 upwards, but also then one day we they a public office through elections, like with them all electable positions, then we can easily call politically exposed persons them, and also financially exposed persons. So all of the one in the then compulsory need for declare the assets to the ACC, where they give you a clue about waiting then get when they enter public service, waiting then get after every 2 years, and even when then they exit, also waiting then get. So that's all a part of the preventive measures. But we also get other preventive measures like the National Anti-Corruption Strategy. USAI, we get government institutions, then get internally established structures, then we then defeat corruption. But the most important aspect we also people like you always be keen on, we reflect with major activities. Then now the one we get to do with enforcement. So you see every now and then we investigate cases, then we come to your attention by way of reports, then we then can report to we, but also by way of intelligence, then sometimes we can institute, and with the charge matters in our court, we get the prosecution aspect. So those generally define we can guide we activities them as a commission.
Okay, so one go on for acts. Which are some of the ways them we the Anti-Corruption Commission don't investigate corruption allegations them we wanna can get?
So yes, the ways that we can investigate. So I mentioned about reports. So we can always encourage people then for make reports then to we. So when we can get reports, then we can come to the ACC. We get an established report center, but we also can receive reports by way of calls. Then we then can make through we toll-free lines them. So we get from time to time we can meet inside the week, inside the month, and we look at all of the quantum of reports and we don't get. And we receive then reports then the one then we get elements of corruption. They directly fall under our mandate. We can ensure say we take the next line of actions, and whether for institute full-blown investigations. And when we institute full-blown investigations, now with 3 or 4 intents for aspiration. So one, based on the outcome of investigation, basically investigation is to prove or disprove. With the investigate based on the outcome, they determine whether if it gets element of corruption, we're going to charge to courts. If we're not going to charge to courts, if now something we get to do with misappropriation of public resources, if we're going to invoke provisions that we do within Section 89, we get to do with the non-conviction recovery model, where we can use for recoup public resources as fast as possible without going through the laborious established court procedures and channels then. But we can also determine and decide whether we're going to do systems review, because many a times when reports encounter we, so that's if really corruption happen, but because there are system gaps, then they have to be addressed for prevent, because again for ensure efficiency in service delivery. And we can also determine based on the outcome of the investigation whether for the customized meeting for go engage maybe a public institution. So those are basically how we can go about. But with investigation, we have experienced, we have competent battery of investigators, and we don't do this work for over 25 years. So we always get a pattern, as difficult as it is. Many a time people are knocking, something, and they even understand how challenging it can be for investigate graft, for investigate corruption. Because when people are engaged in corruption, they do as much as they can for cover their tracks, for hide. Just like we Pekin, they go thief meat support. They try for cover and find. So now just an analogy for tell you how very smart people can be when engaged in corruption, and the way can require so much tact and knowledge for able to uncover, for able to get evidence enough. Because if we are going to charge to court, the burden of proof in criminal litigations is extremely high and has to be satisfied.
All right, Alex Ba, Public Relations Officer for the Anti-Corruption Commission, ADA, for talk about some of the engagements them with the Anti-Corruption Commission. Don't they engage with paramount chief in different parts in the country? Now we don't look at some of the things them with the Anti-Corruption Commission don't do. Let's look at some of the measures them one can take for prevent corruption in the country.
Yes, the measures then we can take. One of the measures then where we can take, I think, touch on that.
Okay.
Now, public education are the most important and the primary measure where we can take for address corruption. That's now a proactive, way. We not just wait let corruption happen somewhere, but we also first off they enlighten people, because there are times, honestly, maybe some people and maybe not they even get knowledge about what they do. But of course, the law make it clear that ignorance of the law is never an excuse. But we find pleasure in people also knowing that they don't have to engage in any of those acts. So we high on public education as a primary measure. We high on prevention through asset declaration.
Okay.
We also very key. Interestingly, in the last declaration here, we record 99.6% in terms of compliance rate. We are the highest compliance rate for asset declaration in the entire continent. And we also get with national anti-corruption strategy.
Okay.
When also primary measure, where inside that strategy they inform we 5 years roadmap how we want to fight corruption in 5 years. And the current strategy now one we hinge squarely and primarily on prevention, but also through the use and absorption of technology into we anti-graft.
So how far with the implementation of the Anti-Corruption Commission strategy?
Yes, we be launch in December 2024. So quite recently we be get the first quarter of review
All right.
of the progress where we don't make, and we, in fact we be even realize say we don't record about 47 or so percent of progress thus far. So it's a 5-year strategy. But at this point, we're able to record that. But that in itself, it's just a general picture. There are many other MDs then where in terms of implementing their own basically guidelines or pointers within that strategy, they've achieved way more than that. But and are just a cumulative, percentage of the implementation efforts and successes thus far. So at that point there we still engage with different MDAs then. We get a steering committee. We get different sector of society represented in that steering committee, including the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists, LAJ, and the committee they under the office of the Vice President. So now then they help out in rolling out this strategy, and we serve now one of the institutions, even though it's under we, the NACS, they're under the office of the commissioner, but we also now one of the institutions, then we can also monitor. Like I told you, there is an independent steering committee, so we can monitor the ACC as much as every other, public institution, for able to determine waiting that they do, thus find implementing, waiting contain inside that strategy. And mind you, this strategy are informed and inspired by provisions that were there inside the United Nations Convention Against Corruption.
All right, so what things now some of the things them where the Anti-Corruption Commission go points to in its fight against corruption at the country?
Quite a lot. 25 years plus of fighting corruption, we've achieved quite a lot, and I think it only but fitting that we also recognize and acknowledge the huge progress we don't make, especially in the last 8 years, under the competent and stout-hearted leadership of Francis Ben Kaifala. We see USAID, when they appoint him as the commissioner, it makes it clear that they make corruption a high risk and a very low return venture. And part of that primary commitment they will make, manifest that commitment there by first of ensuring that we get the right legal frameworks in place. We review the anti-corruption law. We increase the fines. We increase the sanctions. We increase the jail terms. Them, and after that, we still say we get a special division of the High Court. We'll not be ever there in the history of this country, and we are one of the very few countries them across the world. We get special division of the High Court. We dedicated exclusively in trying and presiding over anti-corruption matters. We show the seriousness as a nation able for tackle the scourge, and we see USAI get provisions them inside the amendment. For example, the game-changing provision when at Section 89, when at the non-conviction, and through that method they were able to recover a huge chunk of the over 8 billion only also we don't recover within the last 6 years. So all of these are unprecedented gains and successes we don't achieve under the leadership of Francis Benkei-Fala, which is why, unsurprisingly, we see many other countries and on the camp, Sierra Leone for understudy week, Cameroon was here, Liberia have been coming here, Guinea have been coming here, and many other countries then. Even when we go to international conference, they keep asking about Sierra Leone. How unable for change the fortunes in just the short time. And you see, even for validates then huge successes there we don't make the MCC Millennium Challenge Corporation Scorecard inside and publication where they can do every year. The notes under the control of corruption when a mandatory indicator. Something where we don't fail in 10 out of 15 years that we were assessed prior to 2018 when they appoint Francis Benkei-Fala. And the highest percentage we will be getting at 53%. But in 2017 we get 49 failing percent. In 8 years under Francis Benkei-Fala, we don't score 70 and above percent, and we don't even score as high as 83% in the control of corruption. We see Transparency International also. We moved 22 places upwards from 130 in 2019. We now sit comfortably now 109, and we are one of the few top performing countries then, and Sierra Leone that was at some point the worst and most corrupt country in the world. We are an emblem now of the fight against corruption.
All right, Alex Ba, Public Relations Officer for the Anti-Corruption Commission. Here for talk about some of the engagements them we ACC don't they get with Brahman Chief them na different parts in the country continue for the between inside the program as we they look at another issue. The Mayor Nabo District Council, His Lordship Koba Musa say the new Immigration Service Office with the Immigration Department open Nabo District go help tap the challenge them where people don't they face forget passports. We reporter Alaji Jalo gets more and we're gonna report.
Now so the atmosphere be Tanlek inside both districts where community people and be come together and welcome workman them from the Immigration Department office now free tongue for sake of the new Immigration Service Office where them open at them district as well for tap the challenge them where people don't they face for get passport service. Inside this BN10, the Immigration Department be embark on decentralization of the service. So they be open the Immigration Service Office na Kenema District and Makeni District as way for make people wait tap na them district then they go able for get passport, but waiting na the outcome from where they open their office then they. This make the Chief Immigration Officer at the Immigration Department, Dr. Moses Tifa Bayo, explain.
So we go Makeni, don't go launch. 4 weeks from now, from Okomode, we don't record more than 20 people that actually will apply for passport and don't go on successfully. The same na Kenema, we don't get more than 50 people that we don't go through successfully, don't get a passport. And what we really say decentralization, not to both districts no more with the target at the entire region. We believe say if we're able to reach out to the people in Abuja, if we're able to reach out to the people in Moyamba, we will reach out to the people in Matru where they have services without the non-canal. So with decentralization, we look beyond the regional headquarter towns.
Dr. Moses Tifa Bayo continue for talk about what they don't do now. For tap the PASMAC challenge them, where people don't they face for get passport.
One of the things we also don't do with decentralization, now what we call digitalization. We don't try for digitalize the application process for almost all the services there. For resident permit, now digital platform they go now. For passport self, we get online application. Believe you me, if I pass the mic now, I ask how much for passport, the price will vary among them. So man go say I pay 4 million. But when you go online now, you are able to start the process there and that they make payments there. So nobody no need for eating money again for passport. So you go online. So we don't want to make them extort now. Wallet and they all stop. So now we could do all of these things. We really don't want for make una suffer too much for some of them things. Really, we now on our right.
We in the talk, the Mayor Nabo District Council, His Lordship Koba Musa, talk about council their commitment for help immigration workman them for do them work fine. na Bo District.
We all go through them thing and they go for passport, go one travel, we will go take like week or 2 weeks na free time. If you not sabi anybody, they go language, all other things. We the people of Bo, we go hold this with 2 hands. All we hands them for welcome and embrace this type of opportunity and facility where they come to Bo. The thank you they extend to His Excellency the President, retired Brigadier Julius Madabio, because when you put somebody in at the right place, he has the ability and get the knowledge for extend all this. Now we don't know say decentralization is working and is coming. We dey pray for all other offices. We want make una decentralize and let them come now the upline so that we say will feel belong. Not everything. Free time is not just Sierra Leone.
Inside this engagement, plenty ladi that be happy. Outside community people and be glady for this initiative where the immigration workman them bring near them, and same way so community people them be tell thank you to President Julius Madabio, the Minister of Internal Affairs, and the Chief Immigration Officer for the passport service where them bring near them. For the Society for Radio Democracy, me na Alaji Jallo, they report.
The program na midday show where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We still get the Public Relations Officer for the Anti-Corruption Commission, when Alex Ba, where they are for talk about the engagements them with the Anti-Corruption Commission they get now with Paramount Chief then at different parts in the country. We don't talk about some of the activities them we ACC don't do in the fight against corruption at the country. Now let we come to the engagements them with the Anti-Corruption Commission don't do with Paramount Chief them. Take me to what's the primary goal of the engagements they are with ACC they do.
Yes, first off, the institution of chieftaincy, one of the most important, one of the most respected and foundational institution when you talk about the governance architecture, na Salon. And don't exist for years and years or even centuries. Okay. And then they are the heart of we governance system. So there are a lot of challenges then we over time, understandably so, then also don't they face. Okay. Tradition and modernity. Modernity can't change just so much, but at the same time, it is still a revered institution. We still get other countries then we then pay so much heed likewise into that very institution. So for we as a commission, again pursuant to section 7.1 of we mandate for take all steps deemed necessary for eradicate corruption. It also require we for rally around, people them for also get them support, for solicit and support. And if we are to do that, we need to start from the basis. And there is no better place to start this, or there is no better, persons then for target than we chiefs then within then chiefdoms, and because our chiefdoms they constitute the entire nation as a whole. So we decide that we need to engage the empowerment chief them across the country, but for also discuss on very critical issues then we get to do with the conflict between waiting tradition we don't say and waiting the laws, the modern laws they now require of them for make a lot of clarifications on the issues there. One of those very critical issues then we be informed, we engagements and with them on the issue of gifts. Okay. We know say by tradition, whenever you go meet a chief, they are highly respected, they are highly revered. Tradition demand that you forgo cooler, you forgo pay respect to chief. Okay. Besides Sierra Leone, generally in Africa, it's a tradition. Chinua Achebe, in very celebrated book, it says, "He who brings cola brings life." So it's something we ingrained in we African traditional architecture. Okay. But there is also something else where the law say. These paramount chiefs, they are traditional leaders, but they are also public officers. Right. Yeah. And then positions then are through elections then. And we mean say the anti-corruption law. We get to talk about public officers then generally, they also fall within.
Okay.
And the law say the law not ask or prevent or averse to public officers then from receiving gifts. But there are guidelines there.
All right.
And so as much as tradition require where they go to chief for good gifts, they also need for understand say now there are guidelines, and those guidelines have to be understood and have to be followed. So for example, in some parts of the regions they will go when they say gifts or cola, then call them famalo. Let's say this is a chiefdom where na a mining chiefdom, and then go give this paramount chief a very brand new Toyota Fortuner, and he hold this one, but basically understand say then people they are getting interest because they want for win, the bid or whatsoever for able for mine at this chiefdom. Yeah, if we make decision, the fact that they don't give them that kind of gift, one way or the other, conflict of interest could come in.
Right.
Whether now for make a decision in the greater interest of the inhabitants of in chiefdom, or whether now your own personal self. So now for prevent all of the issues there, we go and engage them. That one, the law not say we not for receive gift. We understand that very well. The commissioner he come up from a chieftaincy home.
Okay.
But the law say when you receive gifts, you have to declare that gift. You need to get established gift register at a chiefdom, and you also have to ensure when you declare your assets, you indicate that I received this gift here from Mastan Soiree. And who is Mastan Soiree to you? You make a known. And there is the law make it clear that if the gifts pass 5,000 millions, even though we also understand from their engagement there is a need for law review, the amount this was in 2008, and the value of 5,000 millions then and now is usually different. But within the law say if you receive 5,000 millions maximum upwards, you have to ensure that you declare them. You put the relationship who you get with the one where give you that money there. So if there is anything where we go investigate later on, if we realize it first off you don't declare this, it will able serve for more or less maybe excuse you from any potential corruption allegations because yes.
So how many chiefdoms them don't engage?
We commence in the eastern region. We engage paramount chieftain from all of the chiefdoms then within the eastern region. We start na Kailaun, we continue na Kenema, and we also be in the Nakono. So all of chiefdoms them, all the paramount chiefs them, and the reps them, now all of them, different places and they become, and we engage them. We continue na northeast. Also will be also engage paramount chief them all from northeast, different districts them, and we just don't conclude the one way we do now the southern region. We be starting on Moyamba, we continue na Pujeon, we go Bonth, and we also get chiefs them from Bo. So all of them one year we get successful engagement with them on the issues there.
All right, so why important for make the Anti-Corruption Commission involve traditional leaders them in the fight against corruption in the country?
Like I was say, these are very important people. I would say we generally, we maybe come up from the provinces. I happen not for common at the provinces, but generally we come out people we come at the provinces. They understand the respect, the huge respect where they are called to then paramount chief. They are symbol of maximum respect, and then people and they listen to them. So there is no better way for win the fight against corruption than for win them people there then support in this fetia. And interestingly, when we go, first off, we listen to them. And the way the paramount chief then they say, when we say for declared assets, or if we declare we gift and all, if you like they want fitiai, if you like they want this. So those were basically the positions then we then get around the issues there, and we understand that. So part of how we take with time and listen them, but the commissioner also taking time for provide responses to them where they became very very satisfied with, and he make important clarifications to them. One of those clarifications, like I did say, he make am clear that now, as opposed to waiting una be don perceive, the law no dey come for tell una say no, una not for receive gifts. The law not dey against that. The law not dey against for can change then custodial and traditional practices there. The law only the guide for protect your office against any FTI. Because now the next, social media people and get phone, bloggers, them, some man go wake one money no more. Allah say, hey, chief, don't buy a new motor, don't thief with money there.
Okay.
Maybe that chief they work for many years now, government institution, he retired and pay him benefits, user benefits there where he gets later on where maybe he don't become paramount chief, he receive benefit, decide for buy vehicle. But the inhabitants then go feel say now the money they don't take.
Alright, so with all the engagements they are waiting so far don't be the response of the paramount chief there, so we ACC they engage.
Yes, they've been very pleased.
Okay.
They express very deep appreciation to the commission and the commissioner, because we decide for good to them. That in itself now a show of respect for good to them, and we engage them on their issues. It's a roundtable discussion. We not go for go tell and say everything that you're doing is wrong, but we go by first of acknowledging that we as a commission understand the importance we una get for play in nation building. We understand and acknowledge that, and we know say una critical for able for support this winnable fight here, this difficult fight here against corruption, and we were able for winner easily. So they were very happy. They were very appreciative, and interestingly, at the end, with the apprehensions they always then be get for declare their assets or whatsoever, then be able for do away with them and then register the maximum support. In fact, some of the chief then say then be even the request when we are able for send staff then we go kaya and can support we, because we say one declare we accept they want them, because we make it clear that you are public officers and it's important let you declare your asset, because asset declaration about a shield for you as much as it's a sword for us. It's a shield for you because there are instances then where we've had people then we, for example, scope. This one where President be appointed in 2018. Then be appointed and within the short period there were allegations that he don't able for build big house. This I think TB Joshua issue. But na person way if you don't declare this particular house here since 2013 unfinished building. So when we go to an asset declaration, we realize say if you don't declare this house here, so not a house where you just build. So if you not be don't declare you refuse for declare your asset, then that is where the problem comes. So make them understand all of the nuances there way the law provide, and why it is there actually for protect and preserve the respect we due of the institution.
All right, Alex Ba, Public Relations Officer for the Anti-Corruption Commission, and therefore talk about the engagements them with the Anti-Corruption Commission done the all with paramount chiefdom, na different chiefdom then na the country. We don't talk about the importance of the engagements there. Now, what's not some of the specific role of paramount chiefdom in the fight against corruption in the country? What's not their role?
Yes, then get a role first of all serve as examples. Now then various chiefdom there, they are symbol of respect and reverence. So if they want they embody the values of integrity, it could define how the entire chiefdom could be. And we need also, the paramount chief, they are part of even the engagement then for let them understand that, and largely they were able to understand that, and able for no say they also have to support the ACC when there are different projects and where governments can put for let different parts of this country benefit, and many a times now from the different chiefdoms there, because the province is a makeup of the greater part of country. Freetown are just a small piece. we expect paramount chiefdom for also be foot soldiers, anti-corruption ambassadors them, integrity ambassador, anti-corruption soldiers them, and then chiefdoms there. So if they suspect any yuki, let them understand, say, they have to report to the ACC, they have to support us, because as a commission, our staff strength will not pass 250 at the entire country. So meaning we're not going to be all side at every time. But then paramount chiefdom, every single of them chiefdoms they are organ at this country. And if then register their unwavering support to the fight against corruption, they will get so much high chances then for able for address the scourge. So that's how critical, then people there be, and I'm basically being informed all of the engagements that we don't do with them.
So one go on for acts, why not now the Anti-Corruption Commission they engage paramount chiefdom on corruption?
So the fight against corruption are one way. It is an ongoing, that's why it's a fight, it's a war. When the commissioner was appointed in 2018, if we do a nationwide tour, where you engage traditional authorities them, also on the fight against corruption. At the dawn, we then just appoint them. A request for let everybody able to provide support to the commission in this fight year. And you see from that nationwide tour 2018, there are so many things that we were able to achieve as a country. But specifically, last year, November, there was an engagement with the local government, ministry, be do na you building, Usai will be get the deputy commissioner who will be good. And when the deputy commissioner then began opportunity for, address them on, several issues then, many more issues then become up. And from that engagement then we'll be able to understand, say, there are lots of things the way the paramount chiefs there also now understand. Because first off, it also starts with understanding where you get knowledge about something. Then not be understand basically within the law talk about gifts. Then not be understand basically that they have to declare their assets will be done. They also get challenged with paramount chiefdom for declare their assets. So we understand, say, if we assure them after the engagement in November that you go come back to the commissioner and engage with them on the need for we reach out to them paramount chief there for do public education engagement. In public education, a critical part of the work we do, part of it prevention and also enforcement. So we decide, say, it is important at this point, and coincidentally, this na asset declaration here, every 2 years we declare asset. Let we go to all of them paramount chiefs there. We converge, we get heart-to-heart engagement with them, we talk to them that we want to now for support the ACC, but we need for support the ACC by first off being examples, by complying to waiting the law say. And that's a very good way for Leo start, and that's a very good way for Leo change the story of this country.
Alright, the program na midday show where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We still get Alex Ba, Public Relations Officer for the Anti-Corruption Commission, where they are for talk about the Anti-Corruption Commission engagements them with paramount chiefdom and different chiefdom them in the country. Continue for the week we as we look at another issue inside the program. The Executive Director, Institute for Governance Reform (IGR), and Olavalisi, the development plan where they don't get for local council. Now it's districts them go make private investor them able for invest na in districts there. And Olavali talk this way Institute for Governance Reform together with the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development go launch the district development plan. Reporter Alfred Jana gets more and I'm gonna report.
Thursday, June 11 this year, the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development, together with Institute for Governance Reform, launched 8 local council development plans with support from World Bank, 2 accountable governance for basic service delivery projects for Bont Municipality, Potloko City, Bont District, Cambia, Kalam, Penadugu, and Pujan districts.
So it's a task for us, but we want to, and if possible for me, within the next 2 years, we want to go to all 190 chiefdoms. I don't know how, we started the district planning, we didn't know how we were going to get to all of the districts, but we got there within a year. So I think within 2 years we can get to the 190 chieftains. And yes, Mayor of Bonfio even also go to Titie and Dema as far as those chieftains. So the call to action for development partners: support this intervention, do not support parallel planning processes, and use these 8 plans, not only these 8 plans, but the previous 14 plans.
That's the voice of the minister from the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development, Kenny Ebale, been they explain, but the number of chiefdom in go want for see. The World Bank representative Mohamed Jallow say the plan would be in line with the National Development Plan.
Our strategy is fully aligned with the expectations of communities, but also aligned with the National Development Plan. So we take local development very seriously. We've been in the kitchen in this whole process. So when we came to the last launch, we saw the marvelous work from IGR. We were impressed, and so too was the minister. And we listened, we collaborated, we worked together, and here we are today launching another 8 development plans. So I'm also really personally, as a Sierra Leonean, really excited. I'm happy.
The chairman on economic and development planning in Parliament, Honorable Musa Fofana, talk this.
About revenue. Revenue has been a challenge for councils, and no matter what happens, if we can think about how we can stabilize revenue in our local councils, I want to assure our partners that with a short possible time, councils will be independent on their own. We go to Karine, it's the same. We go to Falaba, it's the same. So if they are paying the rentage and they have negotiated for property tax to be paid by chiefdoms, which is always challenging, I think partners should also consider, as I was listening carefully to the World Bank representative.
The Executive Director, Institute for Governance Reform, IGR, Andula Valley say the plan development, they provide opportunity for people them, for make them understand how council they strain.
This plan development actually provided an opportunity for citizens to understand the limitations, the constraints of councils. In fact, you can see that coming through the validation process. You can even see that coming through the prioritization process. So today, on behalf of my colleagues at the Institute for Governance Reform, we feel elated that we are contributing to such a democracy building journey. So for us, this is a historic milestone. So we want to thank you very much.
And Bulavali end up for tell thank you to Ministry of Planning and Economic Development for where they believe in Institute for Governance Reform, IGR, for development plan them where them put together for the society, for the democracy. Mina Alfrejana, the report.
The program come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We still get Alex Ba, Public Relations Officer for the Anti-Corruption Commission, ADR, for talk about the engagements them we ACC don't they get with Paramount Chief them na different parts in the country. Now we don't look at waiting at the importance of these engagements. Look at some of the message them we on can care go to them Paramount Chief there, so they on engagements there. So
yes, part of the critical messages then we informed there were engagements there. Now first off we make them understand that then institutions then a very integral and a very important in the fight against corruption. Traditional governance now at the heart, of we country, and we need able to fight corruption without the support, without the buy-in from the traditional authorities there. And the fight against corruption, not to free town no more with the we need for able for start and able for institute integrity even at grassroots level. And then chiefs there, then people them accord to them so much respect, honor, and reverence. In many of them chiefdoms there, the people in they largely listen and go with what the chiefs then they say. So it's important that we get the one and they for buying into the fight against corruption. But we also make a lot of clarifications to them, part of the messages then. One of them clarifications there as opposed to maybe some distorted notions then we, may have held before this time. Like I say in November, in a meeting where the local government ministry get, we will understand that there are a lot of things that we maybe they understand, we not to the right understanding and get. So we make it clear to them that the law not seek for undermine their authority, but the law in fact intend for protect them. For example, even when we took time for appraise them on waiting asset declaration they're about. We tell them say asset declaration basically now for protect una as public officials there, una as paramount chief there. If we're able for shield una from any corruption allegations there. Sometimes now out of malice, sometimes now out of vendetta or whatsoever. But asset declaration they're able for shield una. So let's say you're a chief and you begin send for you motoka, you pick with any parts of the world or where they work on any prominent, or any important side. You get anybody where sometimes you don't educate, you don't support, decide say are the same for chief something, and then you people don't know, and then they go about now they wake in the morning, you hear somebody now in chiefdom don't go na radio, they can blast for chief. Things have changed. Trade, there. But now times don't change. So we also make a known that asset declaration they're able to protect you, because if we get reports and we get reports from then chiefdoms there, a lot of times we get reports there. So if we get reports that the chief done this, the chief done that, we get many of the allegations there, the very first hour they go watch, now you asset declaration. So if we see then say chief, if they drive now a very brand new Benz, but we go look now your asset declaration and we see say when you become paramount chief, you be declare your assets, and part of that declaration they be put say you be the work na radio democracy, and when you left after you length of 20 years service in radio democracy, then we give you this amount of money. So we able, so because this now for prevent also unexplained wealth. Wealth we enable for explain. And one way we able for simply explaining without necessarily even explaining when need be. Now, when we be say comply with requirements, then such as asset declaration. So we'll be also inform them part of the key messaging that reporting corruption now is shared responsibility where we get. So including them as paramount chief, they need for understand, and they also be able for buying and understand that they have to support the ACC, they have to report suspected instances of corruption, because many a times, as I say, that banking they at the beneficiary end of a lot of government programs and projects there, and then districts there, and then chiefdoms there.
All right, so the ACC gets planned for continuing the engagements there?
Yes, so we, for Climax, this nationwide engagement na Northwest, so at the only side we don't left, we don't do on the other 3 regions. Then at the last side we do these engagements there for complete this nationwide, and it has been very, very and highly successful thus far. And like I say, it's coincidental that at the time when they do then engagement there, a period where the law provide for their public officials then declare the asset, and then paramount chiefs there they don't comply in declaring the asset. And before this time, the one there, we also be to get challenged with them for able to comply with within the law say. And like I say, the public education is very critical in work. We as a commission, we not find pleasure in going to arrest people and we don't engage in corruption and can lock all of them, but not for let first of people to understand. And if we don't try, then methods there, because we get a friendly face. And that friendly face there we can many a times we use And when their friendly approach and posture they maybe fail, that's when we can invoke provisions that we get for the written enforcement.
Okay.
But these are revered and very important people them, and we are called in that regard there, and which is why we don't get any successful engagements there across the country.
So within different engagements there, so we don't get with Paramount Chief them. One go on for no within ACC, one for achieve through the engagements there.
I for let them buy into the fight against corruption, for let them support we. In fact, the anti-corruption law suggests, in fact, mandatory that we need for take all steps deemed necessary for able to eradicate corruption. And also further in the Section 7 inside we Act also require we for let us solicit the support of the public. So if we're going to solicit the support of the public, there is no better individuals or persons then for let we engage than then critical players there with a paramount chiefs there.
Right.
So if we get all of them paramount chiefs there and then different chiefdoms there who don't engage, then buying completely into the fight against corruption, then it's a very big win, and that's the win we want to make.
So after all the engagements them we wanna go down do na different parts in the country, waiting next from the Anti-Corruption Commission.
Basically now continue, because we at that point they don't understand, say we don't get anti-graft soldiers they would already recruit.
Okay.
We don't recruit them into the fight against corruption. They are part of us now, actively supported. So keep tabs with them, expecting that there will be an increase compliance and support from them in the fight against corruption, and then they will be able to leverage on for able to do more as a commission. Like I say, the anti-corruption reform we Francis Benkeifala in leadership they're able to make and something we don't change the fortunes of this country from a country where they fail in every international index and assessment to a template, an emblem now of the fight against corruption. We see in 2024 where the Mo Ibrahim Index on Governance come on, where it can come on every decade. The last one come on in 2014. Then particularly mention Sierra Leone in a press release. A whole line where then capture Sierra Leone. That Sierra Leone are one of the most admirable country. We don't perform so well. So we want for continue and increase them performances there. And we not only do and through arresting, but also through this critical mass of fighters and supporters.
All right, Alex Ba, Public Relations Officer for the Anti-Corruption Commission, MB there for talk about some of the engagements them we ACC don't do with Paramount Chief them na different parts of the country. Plenty thank you, Alex, for we join with the inside the program Midday Show. Well, Fambul, now this edition of the program, Midday Show go live for today. Plenty thank you to my executive producer, Michael Sambola, and to my producer, Theodore Arena, and plenty thank you to my Kamara Bangura, we make on us live na Facebook, and to DJ School Face for technical support. May we present this edition of the program. Midday Show come to you. My name is Namastan Sware.